All right.
Hello.
Hello, ESA. This is a little indie game called VVVVVV about reversing gravity. On your left screen, you have Swiss tzann, who is not quite the world record holder in every category. And then on the right screen, you have the French runner Mohoc, who is basically world record holder in every category. So this is the best of the best. And without much else to say, we're going to get right into it. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so the category we're doing today is Glitchless. That means no glitches. And if you've seen glitched categories of this game, you know that there's a lot of glitches. First and foremost, we'd usually be skipping the first level of the game right here, but instead we're going to be taking the time to walk nice and slowly through it and do a nice glitch-free run. So you wanna talk a bit about the format of the game?
The format?
Yeah.
You mean the story?
Yeah.
Or, so basically there are 6 characters. And we have to rescue the 5 other characters in this game. And yeah, there's not much else to say. You can, well,
yeah,
you know more about the story, but yeah.
Yeah, so we go and rescue the various crew members from over the map. And for the most part, the game doesn't intend to have the order you do that in matter. However, there are 2 intermissions in the game, and in Glitchless we can't skip either of them. In other categories we can, but in Glitchless we cannot skip either. And one of those intermissions, the crew member that you bring with you to the intermission determines how much text there is. So we're specifically going to be making sure to do the tower as the second level we do once we're out. And right now we're out of the first level of the game. And we're going to do the second level we do as the tower, just so that we can bring specifically Vermilion with us.
The third level is the tower, actually.
Third level, yeah.
First is
counting this one, third level is the tower. And that's going to give us less text in the intermission. Now we get to watch a little cutscene of the crew members all lost in space. And we're going to try and save them because we're nice. Viridian's a good guy.
Can I get in a donation?
Go for it, yeah.
Alright, we got a $29 donation from Paulister saying, Here's my dads in dollars as well. Good luck to the rest of the marathon, and let's see that 16-star run, y'all! Thanks so much.
Cheers, Paul. Alright, so we're on our way to Space Station 2. You want to talk a bit about what this level's like?
Well, one thing that we're gonna see are corner cuts, basically, which means we're gonna try to, well, cut corners as quickly as possible, which means not... So basically we're trying to pass the corner as closely as possible and without hitting it, so we save some frames.
Yeah. Oh, we're coming on a trick here. Mohawk's going to set it up. I'm not sure if he didn't quite get it. Tzann's going to go for it again here. He's looking for a pixel-perfect setup. He didn't manage it. Yeah. So that plain sailing room, we're able to flip off the back of the platform, saves like a second. It's pixel-perfect to set up. Next room up here, Gordian Knot, which you see on Mohawk's screen right now, and now on Tzann. Tzann gets it first try. Okay. That's lovely. So that's double frame perfect.
Congrats.
At 30 FPS, that's super rough. So Tzann taking the lead here. Coming up to the midway point, this lighter than air room right there, we do what's called a flip buffer, where if you hold the flip input before you touch the ground, you will flip as soon as you touch the ground. And we do what's called a double buffer, and we do another one there in that lies room right there, which you're now seeing Mohoc do. Yeah, the double buffer there makes that room really easy, even though it looks super difficult. And we use that in a few places in the run to get what's basically... Oh, no!
Okay.
That's unfortunate. Marathon nerves. Coming along, getting closer to the end of Space Station 2. Space Station 2 is the reason we do this level second, as soon as we're out of the tutorial level of the game, is because it's arguably the hardest level in the game. I talked about those 2 double frame perfect tricks earlier, and now we're also coming up on Down Under, which Tzann's not quite going to make the fast strat. We'll see when Mohoc gets to it if he manages to do it, but it looks very, very slick if done correctly. Tzann's going to be finishing up the level. Let's look at Mohoc's screen, see if he manages it. Yeah. There you go. Lovely. That's super duper smooth. So that's 1 crew member down. And now, or 2 crew members down. So now, like I said, we're going to need to do Tower as the 3rd level because we need to bring Vermilion with us to Intermission 1 to save on that cutscene time. So, yeah, next area is going to be the tower. Do you want to talk a bit about how that works?
No. I mean, to the introduction. It's...
Okay, so the tower is the auto-scroller of the game. But it's not quite an auto-scroller. At some points, we decide that we don't actually want it to be an auto-scroller, and we're going to make it go a bit faster. If you look at Mohoc's screen here, just quickly, the overworld to the tower, he's going to stutter step in mid-air, and it's going to allow him to catch the, like, furthest pixel of that platform and save him an extra flip. When you're watching the run, it doesn't look like anything, but it's actually pretty tight to perform. So
yeah, you can see now on tzann's screen that it's basically an auto-scroller, but sometimes you want to flip so that you die inside of the checkpoint, and it basically resets, or it like accelerates the game a bit further.
Yeah, so tzann's doing the first one. There you go, lovely, lovely. So that, it saves a decent chunk of time. You've got to bear in mind that in order to actually save time with it, you have to offset, very nice, you have to offset the time of the death animation. Perfect, that one. That was pixel perfect. This one is a little bit slow, but it's, it doesn't say very much time, but it's super easy to set up. All perfect so far. So you managed to force to scroll the screen a little further up. Now there are 6 of these that are RTA viable in the tower, and there's 2 that are only really task viable, so you won't be seeing them go for those. But these checkpoint scrolls are a big part of getting a fast and clean tower, and if you go just a pixel, or just a frame too early, you flip, then you're gonna die, and you're gonna lose a lot of time. So tzann's now done with his checkpoint skips, so is Mohoc, and they're going to be coming up to the end of the tower, which is mostly just the don't choke section. So now would be a pretty good time for any donations if you have some. Yep.
Alright, we got donations flowing in over here. We got a $30 donation from Alex. We got a $50 donation from Anonymous. We got another $20 from Anonymous. So yeah, donations are just coming in here. And come on, guys, we're getting so super close to the 70K. Come on, I know that we can do it.
Oh.
Thanks so much for those.
Thank you very much for
that that's awesome, guys. Thanks for donating. It's a really, really great cause. The marathon's been a ton of fun. I hope everyone's been enjoying it, both at the venue and at home. So, we are seeing tzann come up to the intermission level of the game, or the first intermission level of the game. And you can see the Vermilion's with him, and you'll notice that the text boxes are pretty short. If you bring a different crew member, it takes a lot longer. This room, the cycle lines up really nicely if you just flip down on the middle platform. The gimmick in this area is that the crew member you have with you will only move when you're on the floor and not when you're on the ceiling. And that mechanic ends up being pretty core to one of the more advanced skips we have a little later in the area. So tzann's going to be coming up on it soon. If you watch his screen, this is the infamous Not As I Do, and this is the fast strat. Wow, nice! First try. That's really good. That saves 4 seconds or so?
More like 6.
More like 6. Okay, so that's the biggest time save in this run, if done correctly. This room here, we basically just have to escort Vermilion back and forth. Mohoc doesn't quite get it. He's going to give it another go, I think. Alright, one more. tzann's done with the intermission. Mohoc gets it as well. Very, very nice. Still a pretty close race here. Mohoc's a little bit of a time deficit, but it's nothing he can't make up, because we've got a couple of challenging levels coming up. We're just on the way to the warp zone in the overworld. Do you want to talk about what the gimmicks in the warp zone are?
The warp zone? No, you should do that beforehand.
Okay, so the way the warp zone works is the screen wraps. So either left to right, or top to bottom, or sometimes all directions. So you're seeing them just take these warp tokens and navigate through the overworld on their way to it. There's a couple of difficult rooms in the warp zone, although some of the harder strats that you see aren't viable in Glitchless because they require the use of the self-destruct button, which is not intended behavior, so it's not allowed in Glitchless. But just as they navigate their way towards the warp zone is a pretty good time for more donations.
I'd like to take this moment to remind everyone that we still have a donation incentive open for the 16-star bonus run of Mario 64. Cheese will be doing that run at the end of his 120-star run in a few hours. Currently we're at $3,235 out of 10,000, and I'm 100% positive that that can be reached. So yeah, there's also prizes still open at this point. If you donate $50 or more during this marathon, you can win this amazing Super Mario Maker 2 Switch bundle. So if you always wanted to Switch and want to have that chance to make it happen, now would be the perfect time.
Yeah, the Switch is a super cool console if you haven't played with it, and in fact, it has VVVVVV on it, so that's all the more reason to donate, really. So we just saw tzann do he's going to be doing another pretty tight strat here, where he flips up onto that rather than falling down the screen.
That's a really fun... I think it's here, right? When you're too fast, you can basically be too fast and then you die.
Yeah, so if we pay attention to Mohoc's screen here, he's going to be coming up on a couple of pretty cool rooms where he needs to turn around and then flip down, just about gets past the obey. Very nice. So these last few rooms with the warp tokens that tzann's going through now are pretty tight. He just about gets the fast cycle on That's Why I Have to Kill You, which is lovely. And Mohoc's, going to be coming up on those screens as well. So very nice warp zone, and that is going to be the second to last crewmate we rescue. So, probably the most iconic part of this game is the Gravitron. Even if you haven't played this game, you've probably seen or heard of the Gravitron or seen reference to it. If you've played I Want to Be the Boshi, for instance, or if you've seen, basically if you've heard of this game at all, you've probably heard of the Gravitron. It is an auto-scroller, and it is random. And that's just everything we speedrunners love, isn't it?
Well, not all of it is random, right?
Yes, so it's a good point. Basically, the way that this works is it's going to be random up until 20 seconds from the end. And from 20 seconds to the end, if you don't die up until that point, then the last 20 seconds of the fight will be exactly the same every time. So surviving the first 40 seconds is generally the hardest part, and then at that point, you should be able to finish it out pretty cleanly. So tzann's already halfway through without a death yet, which is pretty good, but this is arguably one of the tougher attacks in the fight, and the RNG can be really nasty here, so really, really close dodges here. Super tight. Oh, doesn't quite make it, unfortunately. So he's going to have to read this last 20 seconds. It's no longer going to be scripted. I don't believe Mohoc has died yet, so this does give him a bit of a chance to catch up a little bit, gain back some of that time.
Can I get in another donation?
Yeah, go for it. We're just finishing up the Gravitron.
Alright, we got a $50 donation from Zed saying, great job on pronouncing Gelly correctly. No problem, Zed.
Thanks very much. Keep the donations coming, guys. It's super awesome. Great calls. So Mohoc's just going to be finishing up the Gravitron. I believe this is deathless.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a nice, clean ending here. He's going to be going for a cycle skip. I don't think he's going to...
Yeah!
Oh, he gets it! Very nice! That's super duper tight to get, and it's really easy to die if you mess it up, because if you flip when you're not expecting to flip, you're going to have a really bad time. And yeah, so that is the last intermission of the game. So now we're coming up on the final crewmate we have to rescue. This is Victoria in the laboratory, and the gimmick of this place is these gravity flipping lines, which we just saw in the Gravitron. So this level isn't too exciting, there's not really anything too challenging, so if you've got a few donations, now's a really good time to read them out.
Not any donation at this point, but I'd like to remind everyone that there's still a few more prizes that you can win during this marathon. Specifically, the Pokemon artwork that's been done by Jana Pilot. If you can get in, if you donate $15 or more during any point during this run or the next run, the refund run, you'll be eligible to win that one. So make sure, if you want to see that cool artwork that you've been seeing during the intermissions, definitely make sure to get your donation in for those.
Awesome. Alright, so... yeah, this level's mostly pretty slow. tzann's going to be going for the one trick that we do in this level in Glitchless. He's going to be going for a cycle skip on the screen there. Wow, very nice, very nice. So he just catches that platform. It is, I believe it's frame perfect. Unfortunate death there. He's going to lose the time he saved and then some. But we're going to see Mohoc go for it as well. It doesn't look like much, but he's just going to be looking to flip perfectly off the edge of this. No, it doesn't quite get through Kids His Age bounce fast enough, so you see he has to bounce an extra time there before the end. So tzann getting the cycle skip there is super impressive. And that's going to be it for Laboratory for tzann. Heading into the last level of the game. So now that we've rescued everyone, the true final boss, the finale of this game, we have to rescue ourselves. So, the final level is going to combine everything we know. It's a super hype level, and the first half of the final level has the best music in the game, in my opinion. So it's a good time to sit back and jam out for a little bit as we watch tzann do the introduction to the level. So there are a few tricks in this screen. The screen that's just coming up on tzann's end, he's intended to wrap around to the left, but you can just do that and skip through it by bouncing back on yourself when you hit one of those gravity flipping lines. I'm not sure which variant of the fast cycle tzann's going to go for on this upcoming screen. Probably the safe and intelligent version to go for. Did you go for it?
Yeah, but I missed the frame rate.
Yeah, so there's a way that you can basically reach that rear window screen perfectly, and you skip one whole cycle of going around. It's very, very tight, and it's generally not recommended RTA. So there's a pretty good reason people don't usually go for that one. All right, so Mohoc's also going to be coming up on the halfway point here. That room looks pretty complicated on tzann's end, but it's actually just a hold right room. In glitched categories of this game, we would be clipping through those lines with a glitch known as line clipping. But unfortunate death there. But line clips are of course banned in Glitchless, so race is getting pretty close at this point. tzann just barely has the lead by about 5 seconds, coming up on one of the two auto-scrollers in the final level, definitely easier of the two. tzann is going to be doing a setup strat here where he flips at a perfect time to land on that block the first frame it's available, and a flip buffer strat is going to let him go through Heaven's Gate. Unfortunately Mohoc just messes up the inputs, I think. Yeah. And tzann going to be getting through the last auto-scroller, okay, the hardest one of the game, and now he's just into the final room, and unless, barring a major mistake, it looks like it's going to be it. tzann is going to flip up, and we're going to be getting ready on his timer. Very nice run. And Mohoc as well, not too far behind, so a super close race in the end. And tzann is done. And what is that time? That's a 16:01 RTA, and in-game time is what we use, 15:33.
Nice run.
Super duper close. 4 seconds in it, and you can see that in the in-game time. A really, really great race. Some awesome strats shown off by both. So Glitchless may not have all of the super interesting mechanics and things that we see in some of the other categories, but things like the Gravitron are a great raw skill tester, and it does have some really interesting movement tech that needs to be optimized, like the corner cuts and like the flip buffer strats.
Yeah, and speaking of the Gravitron, I think the donation incentive has been met.
Yeah, I believe we hit our donation incentive.
Yes, you did.
$700 to show off the Super Gravitron.
Yeah.
So,
actually, the donation incentive was met like really early on in the marathon, so that was really cool. Really nice to see.
Yeah, it's awesome to have all these donations coming in. All right.
While you get to that, can I read off a donation?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we got a $50 donation from Killing Thunder saying, "Hey guys, throwing my $50 in for ESA 2019. You, the staff, and the runners are doing a great job. Keep up the good work. See you all in 2020. Thank you so much."
All right, cheers to the donations again, guys. So, once you've beaten the game and you've collected all the trinkets, you unlock what's called the Secret Lab, which is where these guys are right now. And in the Secret Lab is something called the Super Gravitron. This is an incredibly difficult and open-ended version of the Gravitron where you have to survive as long as possible. And these guys are going to have 5 minutes to survive for as long as they can. And it's going to be basically just bragging rights, but they're going to be going for the longest life they possibly can. So if you guys are both ready...
can we reset the timer so we have a 5-minute counter?
Let's do that.
Just so we know when it's over.
So that's the naughty corner. Makes Freudian sad.
Or we can just get a timer up on a phone or something.
I can.
We can. Are you? Okay.
I'll. This has never happened before.
All right.
Okay. All right. We're good.
Let me get back there in a second.
All right. So 5 minutes. Whoever's gonna be able to survive the longest, and what we'll probably do is, assuming we have time, you get to finish any runs that you started before the 5 minutes were up. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so I believe Mohoc's PB is 8 minutes?
No,
7 minutes.
7 minutes.
7 minutes, and tzann's is 2 minutes. So there's a little bit of PB disparity. But we'll see how these guys do with the nerves on the day. And even surviving to just, like, 20 seconds in. My PB, I'm pretty sure, is still in the single digits.
I mean, they're gonna be pretty happy if they beat 1 minute in those 5 minutes.
Yes,
so.
1 minute is the final Steam achievement that's available. The best the game expects you to do. At that point, it's just like, well, they probably won't try anymore. Tzann having a little bit of a hard time, but Mohoc's on a pretty good run here. 30 seconds in already without taking the death, so that best time in the top right is fresh to this save file, so it's going to be ticking up as we go to show us how well he's done in this session. Manages to read those attacks just right. So one of the strategies you're going to be seeing them use here, if we look at Mohoc's screen, is going off the left and the right of the screen. This Gravitron does wrap from left to right, and you can use that to dodge some otherwise horrendous attacks that you wouldn't have any hope of getting out of. You do have to be a little careful with it, but Mohoc is going to be hitting a minute. That's a super impressive time, and if you pay attention to Tzann's screen, he is also 40 seconds in, so both of them on a really good run here, and I'm going to avoid saying anything that might jinx it. And I really don't want to commentator curse this one. Tzann takes the death, unfortunately. Makes it to 53 seconds, but Mohoc's best time is already better than that, so that's not going to be good enough. There are still 2.5 or 3.5 minutes left on the clock, though, so he's got plenty of time to get another run started. Meanwhile, Mohoc seems to have forgotten the meaning of the word death and is completely flying through the Gravitron. 1 minute and 42. So if you've played the game, you probably know that this is way harder than the normal Gravitron. The attacks are much denser, there's more bullets, there's also different attacks and a wider variety of attacks, and it's just a complete nightmare. So the fact that not only is he able to survive for 2 minutes in a row, he's able to do it in a marathon setting like this, just right off the bat, is super impressive. Tzann unfortunately taking another death. He still has time to get another one started, but he's running out of it. Mohoc is just, starting to run away with this one. The consistency of this man is out of this world, but he takes the death. 2 minutes and 21 is the time to beat. Tzann needs to get the run started, and what we'll do is, yeah, if he manages to get a run started before the 5 minutes are up, then he will be able to finish it out and see if he can beat that 2 minutes and 21 time, assuming Mohoc doesn't improve it himself.
So I think one of the hard parts about the Super Gravitron is not the, it's basically the hardest part is transitioning between the different, what do you call it?
The different attacks, the different patterns.
Yeah, so it's really hard to switch between those because you don't really know what's coming, and yeah.
Oh, unfortunate death from Tzann. Yeah, you can see these little arrows on the side of the screen that indicate where the bullets are coming from, but they are still not perfect information. It's really hard to pay attention to them when you're focusing on not dying. So the transitions between different attacks have the most tendency to give you a hard time. Another unfortunate death from Tzann. So while he has this incredible 53-second time, which is more than triple my PB, and almost enough for every Steam achievement in the game, it's still dwarfed by Mohoc's time, which is just absurd to have set here. I believe that might even be more than Tzann's PB, I think.
Yeah, it is.
It is more than Tzann's PB. So he's in a position... Whoa! He's in a position where he needs to PB live on stream in the next minute, or at least get that PB run started in the next minute if he wants to have a chance. He is 30 seconds in right now, managing this attack okay. These mirrored bullets tend to give you a bit of a hard time, but there's two variations. There's the random ones, and then there's ones that... Oh, unfortunate. And then there's the ones that proceed from like the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen, and it's always patterned, so those ones aren't too hard to dodge. Mohoc's got another good run started here. He doesn't even need to improve his time, but I have absolutely no doubt that if he could do it for swag points, he would. Super duper tight dodges on both sides. We're coming up on the end of reset time, so Tzann takes another death, unfortunately. This is probably going to be the last run of both guys, as we only have 15 seconds left on the clock. So Tzann has to get something started. He has one more go by the looks of it. And then we're going to be cutting off new attempts. Okay.
Last try.
Last try. Alright, 5 minutes are up. There's no more new attempts. All eyes on Tzann as he aims to improve that. Mohoc is also on a good run, so he could even improve his own time. But tzann needs to make something happen. Unfortunately, takes the death. But a super impressive display of skill. I think we're going to let Mohoc finish this one out, assuming we have time, and see how well see if he can beat his own best time in this.
I'm dead.
He's dead. That was the Super Gravitron. Big game, guys. So one takes the race, one takes the showcase afterwards. So yeah, awesome, impressive display of skill. These two guys, top of the V6 speedrunning community. And speaking of that, we are a super good community. You can find us on speedrun.com. There's a Discord server. And yeah, feel free to start running this game. There's a bunch of cool categories. Both Glitchless and No Out of Bounds are great for beginners. And some of the more difficult categories, like 100%, are really fun to pick up once you have that knowledge. So, anything else you want to say?
Nope, I think we're good. I think we have a few donations waiting, so we'll probably give it over.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I still got 2 quick donations over here. I got $5 from Alex saying VVVVV is a game I enjoy, so why not donate towards Alzheimer's research while it's run? Same deal towards the Mario 64 incentive. And we also got $50 from VGadiomus saying hello everyone.
My boy.
As promised with mohoc7, even if he didn't make the sub 1530 on V6. Here's my money for charity. Hope you all enjoyed the event. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
So keep those donations up for the rest of the event. This has been tzann and Mohoc. You guys want to say any goodbyes?
I just wanted to say, that it's actually really cool how V6 has actually progressed over the years, because for a long time, like up until 2014, there was lots of progress on more skips and stuff, and then for about 5 years, we found almost nothing. Until last year at ESA, we found a 3-second time save in No Out of Bounds, and we thought, oh my god, it's a free world record. And a week or two later, both of us improved our PBs by 3 seconds or so. And then just a month ago, we found a huge new skip that broke basically everything. And there's a lot of stuff happening in V6 right now, so it's a great time to pick it up.
Yeah, so again, find us on speedrun.com. There's a Discord server, and get involved. Speedrunning's great. And enjoy the rest of ESA, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for having us.